Flora Davidson, a circulation assistant at the University of Wisconsin Library, worked during the time of two world wars, the ratification of the 19th Amendment, and the Great Depression. Like me, she graduated from the University of Wisconsin with a degree in English literature. After graduating from the University of Wisconsin in 1901, Flora began work at the University Library in 1904 with a salary of only $450 per year. One of Flora's greatest accomplishments was collecting 10,000 book plates with former director of the library, Gilbert Doan. This collection of book plates is now housed in Special Collections, which is located in Memorial Library. Living up to the librarian stereotype, Flora extensively documented her life. From 3 travel journals documenting a summer-long trip up the East Coast, a small book filled of different swatches from dresses she wore, each listing the first time she wore the dress and how much the fabric cost, to a detailed list of books read, alphabetized and sorted by year from 1898 to 1966. In her collections, one at the University Archives and the other housed in the Wisconsin Historical Society archives, are 40 years' worth of diaries, some filled with personal entries and others collections of newspaper clippings and quotes, each with a thorough index. The indexes are organized alphabetically and then by subject, with page numbers indicating where they appear in the diary. Her diaries show witty personality and a way with words. She writes about the different staff members, her mother, and social events. An avid photographer, collector, and member of the National Society for the Preservation of Covered Bridges, Flora took on the contemporary role of the working woman rather than settling down and having a family. Instead, Flora's family consisted of the library staff. She writes of them warmly and includes pictures of her travels with fellow staff members. During the First and Second World Wars, she corresponded with former student library staff workers who were serving overseas. Their telegrams, letters, and postcards are included in the collection, where they speak of her fondly. The boys talk of picturing her working in her garden, reading, or at the library. One boy affectionately refers to her as Flower Lady. Shortly before her death in 1967, Flora wrote a 3-page memoir about her time as a circulation assistant, entitled, "These Things I Remember." It reads similarly to her diaries, and one story truly shows the strict yet kind personality she possessed. One night, a student came in just at closing time, very eager for a certain book. He had been at the gym and his wallet was at home. He had no identification and there wasn't time for him to go home. Our rules require adequate identification before drawing out books. Half a dozen other students were standing around waiting for their books, so even though I wanted to give him the book, rules are rules, and one can't grant favors to one and ask the others to obey the rules exactly. If I refused to let him have the book, the others would think I was too strict, but if I did give it to him without identification, they would resent that too. Suddenly I saw a way out and asked him quickly, "Is that your sweater?" For a second I feared he was going to tell me it was none of my business, and then he grabbed the bottom of his sweater and began rolling it up so fast I called a halt when I could see all of the name on the seam under his left arm. He was wearing a W sweater, and each one has the owner's name on the inside. That was a satisfactory identification, and the boy got his book.